Hi everyone, and welcome to Krannert Art Museum Yoga. I'm Jody. Welcome to my living room once again. I hope you are having a good week. We're transitioning from winter to spring, so you're probably feeling that in your body. I am an Ayurveda yoga specialist, and so I always think about Ayurveda, that sister science to yoga when I'm teaching yoga and just in life in general. And so what's happening out there is happening in us as well, and so you might notice a bit more fatigue. This transition can be challenging, even though we're really excited that spring is coming. It can be a challenging transition from winter to spring. And so if you're finding some imbalances, just starting to adjust your diet, maybe lighter foods, eating less, thinking about doing a spring cleanse. If you're curious about that, you can always reach out to me. I can guide you through that. But just listening to the natural rhythms of what's going on in nature, because that's happening in us as well. So if you think about it, the winter thaw is upon us, and everything that we've accumulated over the course of the winter is starting to kind of thaw out, and it kind of can cause a strain and that toxic kind of dump in the body at a cellular level. And so that's really what causes illness, maybe more asthma, maybe more lethargy, just some inflammation in the body. And so we really want to go with that energy and continue to cleanse. So drinking lots of water, purify yourself in that way. So, and being here. So I'm glad you're here, glad you're joining me. Yoga helps with that as well. So we will go ahead and start seated today. You'll just want a couple of props. So you want the blanket. You'll want a couple of blocks to sit on. And just finding your seat, taking your seat. Again, make sure that your sit bones are evenly grounded, and that you grow the spine tall. You can roll through the shoulders up, back, and down, just opening up the chest. Taking a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Relaxing the arms, relaxing the hands, letting them rest comfortably on the thighs or the knees. Closing the eyes or a soft, unfocused gaze just to become more present. Moment for you to check in, to become aware of the breath. Noticing the quality of the breath. Noticing how you feel today. Not just physically, but also mentally and emotionally. Just this opportunity to slow down and truly check in. And keeping the connection of the mind with the breath, just a light focus. And keeping that connection throughout your practice. You can also form an intention for this practice, just something to return to beyond the breath, maybe a word or a feeling, something that inspires you. Something that will help you stay the course. And just beginning to bow the head heavy. So the weight of the head beginning to traction, a little bit of the spine. And from here you can begin to move the head gently, slowly from side to side. Just be in no hurry, just beginning the practice. This is also our check-in as well with the rest of the body, as we begin to move. One more time, swaying gently from side to side. And intentionally rounding the spine as you bring the chin centered over the chest. Tuck the tailbone, just finishing an exhalation here. And then as you inhale, reaching the heart forward, squeeze the shoulder blades along the spine, and lift the gaze. So just really gently moving initially, rounding as you exhale. Inhale to open the front of the body. Just a couple more breaths like that. Using those deep, even breaths to guide the movement. Noticing what opens for you over time. And then arriving, just a nice long neutral spine and just starting to circle the spine. So waking up core, waking up the low back, the hips. Keeping the connection to the breath. Starting to circle in the opposite direction. And then the next time you bow forward, stay forward and fingertips or palms to the earth, or you can use props in front of you if need be. And again, the head is heavy. Let the pelvis be heavy. Breathe. From here, you can, again, sway the head from side to side. Feel the expansion in the neck, maybe all the way down the back. You can sway the torso from side to side. Notice how this also might be opening up the hip of the leg that's in front. You might feel it in both as well. And then coming back through center, staying bowed forward. 3 deep breaths. Using arm strength, using core strength to roll up. Arriving, taking some rolls through the shoulders, up, back, and down. And just pausing and noticing which leg is in front. We're going to switch up the legs in a moment, but for now, just extending the legs out. Let them go wide, hip distance or wider. You can start to flex and point through the feet. Just a moment to reset in the legs, free up the energy all the way through the extremities. So we're thinking range of motion, as much as is available to you in the ankles, and you can roll at the ankles. Rolling in the opposite direction. Just becoming aware of posture as well. A moment to still the movement, spread through the toes. And then relaxing the toes and rebending the knees, recrossing the legs with that opposite leg in front. And again, bowing forward, fingertips or palms to the earth or to the blocks or props again. Head is heavy once again. The movement of the head, swaying it from side to side, maybe a bit more open. Now that we've paid some attention to that part of the body. Again, you can start to sway the torso from side to side, breathing, hopefully feeling more of that opening in that outer hip of the leg that's in front. Again, you can come through stillness, pausing, sit bones heavy, 3 deep breaths. then palms press into the earth. To use the core strength, but also supplementing with a little arm strength here to grow the spine tall, roll through the shoulders up, back, and down. And if you're on any prop like I am, this blanket, you can just set that out of the way. Palms alongside the hips to lengthen out through the legs. And then from here, you can press into the earth, just arching the spine, lifting the gaze. Long elbows, long legs. Take a breath, expanding in the body, using the breath. And gazing forward so that the neck is neutral once again. You can bend the knees, plant the feet a little wide, maybe hip distance, and then just a little bit of movement of the knees from side to side. So we want to feel that self-massage in the outer hips. Over time, you might be able to move the knees, move the legs a little more deeply from side to side. So just exploring that on your own. And then bringing the knees over to the left side. You can keep the right foot as it is or tuck it in. Keeping hold of that shin, relax the left arm and start to bow slightly to the left with the torso and with the weight of the head. Pause and breathe. Might feel good to start to move the head forward and back in space. Just wanting to open the neck, create space there. These mindful movements. You can change the head position, turning the gaze down, shin towards the collarbone. Perhaps starting to circle, like you're tracing circles in space with the nose. Again, we're thinking range of motion here for the neck, for the shoulders. And it should all just feel good. As you circle in the opposite direction. Maybe a little bit bigger as the body opens over time. Noticing any tight places along the way, and then pause there. Breathe into those places. 3 deep breaths. Starting to align the neck with the rest of the spine, and just for a moment twist, complete the twist over to that left side, left hand to the earth, right hand to the thigh, gazing over the left shoulder as you breathe. One more breath. Take your time releasing and unwinding, starting to extend through that right leg. In a moment here to just flex and point through that right foot. And keeping the foot slightly flexed, excuse me, the left hand to the left thigh. The right hand can come alongside the hip as you reach forward. So a hamstring stretch, but as you ground that left thigh to the earth, hopefully feeling more of a side body stretch as well. And stay connected to the breath here. One more breath. And rising up back through seated. And you can just draw that left knee up, grounding through the sole of the left foot. We want to hug the thigh in towards the midline of the body. You can use the right hand for that and continue to spin over to that left side. Another twist, but really with the idea of getting into the outer hip. So a few breaths here, trying to draw that thigh towards the midline, keeping both sit bones grounded, collarbones spreading. One more breath. And then releasing, slowly unwinding. And again, you're just gonna bend both knees, plant both feet wide, starting that windshield wiper action with the legs, gently, slowly from side to side. And then the knees release over to the right side. Ultimately, you can stay where you're at with that foot, or you can tuck it in. We want to keep the hand at the shin. And then just starting to bow the torso, bow the head to the right. Letting that left shoulder draw down away from the ear, and you can start to move the head forward and back in space. Making sure everything feels good for you. Calming the nervous system. Breathing with awareness. Starting to change the direction of the head. You can gaze down, chin towards the collarbone, breathing here. Your choice to stay, or again, you can start to make those slow circles with the nose in space. You can start to circle in the opposite direction. Finding that sweet spot once again for yourself. Just breathing life into the heart. 3 more breaths. Drawing the head up to align with the spine, but continue to twist over to that right side, right hand to the earth, left hand to the thigh. Gazing over the shoulder, everything just without force. Allowing the body to open in its own time as you breathe. One more breath. Take your time and start to unwind and start to extend that left leg out. You can start to flex and point through the foot. Any kind of thing that feels good here, freeing the energy. Keeping the foot more flexed. The right hand grounding the right thigh down, left hand content, fingers content alongside the hip as you reach the heart forward. So we want the hamstring to elongate, that's happening for sure, but with the grounding of the hip, we're able to get more of that opening in the back. Sit bones ground. Think about using the breath here. One more breath. Do take your time to rise, finding that alignment, floating the right knee up so the right foot can ground. And think about drawing that knee towards the midline of the body, still active through that left leg, twisting over to the right. Continuing to breathe. Find expansion in the body. Alignment. Just awareness throughout the entire body. One more breath. Releasing and unwinding. And let the legs go long. Let them go a little wider. So we're not looking for a long, wide stance, rather. Just enough to feel gentle stretching of the inner legs, perhaps of the hamstrings, and either flex through the feet or point the toes. And we just want to create a wave with the spine gently from side to side. So if you've been sitting all day, this could be a nice way to wake up the spine. Get that spinal flexion from side to side. Everything again should just feel good here. Eventually coming back through center. You can release fingertips or palms to the earth. And just thinking about rounding and bowing, softening forward. No intention of where the body should be in space, just a nice opening. Doesn't matter how far you go, you can always use props underneath you if you need. So maybe you want more support. You can use the blocks, maybe the forearms are more comfortable on the blocks and the head can be heavy. You can relax the feet a little. Again, we want to breathe with that awareness. Using every breath, inhale to open, exhale to soften. Taking one more deep breath. And then palms can press into the support of the earth or the props to rise, coming back through seated. Props can come off to the side. You can rock back, hands under the thighs. You can draw them out a little bit as you just rock out through the legs. Again, just kind of a reset. You can pump the backs of the legs into the earth. Whatever feels good. A little rolling through ankles. Bending knees eventually. Soles of the feet come together. So a little cobbler's pose. You can pick up the pelvis and draw it towards the heels. Taking hold of the feet, the ankles or the shins. Tall spine here for a moment as you drive the knees towards the earth. We won't stay long, but keep this engaged. Notice where you can soften. At the same time you have that toning and engagement of muscles in the body. Always that duality of effort and ease in our practice. One more deep breath. Letting the legs relax. If it feels safe for you, you can cross at the ankles to make your way into a child's pose. So rolling over the shins, inner big toes touch, and fan out the toes and just sink the hips to the heels. Let this be soft and restorative, forehead to something, maybe stacked hands or fists, or the earth.
Taking a deep breath. And one more breath. Press the palms under the shoulders, rising back up to a tabletop position. And from here, the head is heavy once again. Another opportunity to open up through the neck and spread through the fingers. Maybe swaying the head eventually from side to side. You can start to sway the hips from side to side, as if the head and the hips could one day eventually touch. And just start to circle the hips so the neck is neutral, circling clockwise or counterclockwise. Circling in the opposite direction. Back through center. A moment to flow through a cat-cow. So inhale, lifting the gaze, open the heart, lift the tailbone. Exhale, rounding the spine, pressing the mat away. Inhale, finding that arched body position. Exhale, open up through the back. One more time, inhaling. This time as you exhale and around, again, we're sinking the hips back to the heels. We're just giving the wrists a moment to rest. Forehead again to something. You can make fists with the hands and roll at the wrists. In both directions. Just a moment to be, to breathe, to notice. One more breath. And pressing back to your tabletop once again. You'll keep the left hand where it's at. You want to make sure you've got plenty of room at the top of the mat so you can use this sticky mat. You're going to reach the right fingertips there. Inhale. Exhale to sink back, relaxing left forearm to the earth. The forehead rests on the forearm. So we're actively reaching along through that right side, creating space in that right side. Notice the breath. You might feel it more profoundly on that side as well. One more breath. And take your time, slowly draw the right palm under the shoulder, pressing back to a tabletop. Realign the body, the palms, the knees. Flow through a couple cat-cows. Inhale, lift the gaze, lift the tailbone. Exhale, finding that roundedness. One more time, just like that. Back through nice long neutral spine. And stretching through that left side body. Reach the left fingertips to the right corner of the mat. Inhale. Exhale, sinking back. Use the sticky mat. Forehead rests. Neck is relaxed. But reaching long through that left side. Heavy the left hip back to the heels. Breathe. One more breath. Starting to draw the left palm under the shoulder, pressing back to tabletop. And again, just a cat-cow here to reset. Inhale, open the front. Exhale, back body expanded. And inhale, we're just preparing for down dog. Keep the tailbone lift as you start to curl the toes under. Actively press the mat away. Nice long spine. You can start to pedal out through the feet, bending one knee, then the other. Start to find a place of stillness with the feet as wide as the mat. Pressing the mat away so you start to walk the hands back. Knees can be soft, but lift the tailbone skyward. You can stay here or you can rock a little forward and back, each time spreading the toes. Head is just heavy. You can sway the torso a bit from side to side if that feels good. Or just be still. So it's your exploration of your body. Just find what you need. A few breaths. One more breath. Starting to press the feet into the earth strongly as you strengthen through legs, bend the knees, walk the hands to the thighs, press into the thighs with a rounded spine. The spine grows tall first, and then we can start to lengthen out through the legs, arriving through standing. A moment to take some rolls through the shoulders, up, back, and down. And stepping the feet about hip distance apart. So feet about shoulder width, hip distance, whatever feels comfortable for you. Hands can come to the hips, and then just starting to circle through the hips, clockwise or counterclockwise. Mindful of the knees here, we're just moving into the hips, opening the glutes, opening those hip flexors and the fronts of the thighs, fronts of the legs. Circling in the opposite direction. And arriving, coming back through standing. So a moment just to be in mountain pose. Strong and stable, a moment to check in. Moment to breathe, seeing what's opened for you. And playing with a little bit of balance. So again, feet can stay hip distance apart, spreading the toes or broadening through the feet, hands to the hips. Find a gazing point for the eyes, so something at eye level or higher. And as you inhale, just lifting up on the toes, lift the heels. And as you exhale, ground the heels back down. So every inhalation, finding that power as you lift heels, exhale with control, releasing. And maybe the arms uplift as you inhale. See if that helps or causes more of a challenge. So a few more times. They say the calves, when we pump them like this, act like a heart pump. So getting a little bit more energized in our day. One more time, inhale, lifting. And as you exhale, release the heels, just float to the arms down alongside the body. A moment to roll through the shoulders. You can breathe in through the nose and
out through the mouth. And if you're not there already, just finding the same mountain pose at the top of the mat. And we'll just flow to the ground. Connect to the breath, finishing an exhalation. Inhale to open the arms, lift them skyward. Exhale, folding forward, keeping length in the spine. You can soften through knees. And a deep inhalation, lifting halfway, strong core. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, step back into plank. Pausing here, breathing, maybe knees to the earth, inhaling. As you exhale, you're lowering down to the belly. Preparing for your cobras. So inhale, lift the head, or lift the heart, the head follows. Exhale, soften back down. We're strengthening back body core with every lift. Toning the glutes. Muscles that support the spine. One more time, inhale. Press the mat away, maybe through the knees. You can flow back to your down dog, or maybe you need child's pose. So just a few breaths exploring. So if you're in child's pose, you can go ahead and meet us back in a down dog. We'll just finish the flow by inhaling the gaze to the fingers, and then as you exhale, you can start to walk to the fingers. The next inhalation lifts you halfway into your monkey. Exhale to fold again, and then inhale to rise. So sweeping arms out and up, palms can touch at the top, and then exhale, hands to the heart. Bring your hands to your hips, and we're going to stretch out those calf muscles that we just worked by coming into a warrior one. So left foot's going to ground, it's going to stay. You're just going to step that right foot back, grounding the back heel, a little bit of balance. Feet are hip distance, hips squared forward, and engage that right leg and glue that right heel to the earth. Inhale with straight legs. Exhale, bending the front knee, but really keep that right leg active. So hopefully feeling a calf stretch, and then inhale, lengthen, pressing the earth away with the left foot, and then exhale, sinking down again. Inhale, finding length. Exhale, sinking. You might even feel this in the hip flexor psoas, I know I do. One more time, inhale, lengthening. And then exhale, sinking. From here, thinking about back body core. So all those cobras that we just toned the back body with, we're using them. And opening up in the front of the body. So our cat-cows help with this, but that strengthening of the back body. So just one more breath. And then hands to the hips. You can shift the torso forward, free up the heel of the right foot, and then step forward as you're ready. So finding your mountain pose, just relaxing for a moment, reconnect to the breath, and maybe feeling a difference between your sides. Then hands back to the hips, right foot's gonna stay, and you're gonna step the left foot back in space. Grounding that back heel, engaging the glutes, lengthen through that left leg, inhale. Exhale to bend through the front knee, keeping all of that active in the legs. And then inhale, actively press the mat away with that right foot. Exhale to sink down. Inhale, lengthen by pressing really strong through the legs. Exhale, sinking. So the legs stay very active here. One more time, inhale to lengthen. Exhale to find the foundation, just like building a building. So have that in place. And as you open the arms, you're lengthening through the spine even more, arching the back, breathing. Taking one more inhalation. And then exhale, hands to the hips. You can float the torso forward, free the back heel, stepping forward with balance or not as you are ready. So we're back in our mountain pose. Relax the arms, just checking in for a moment. I'm going to mix it up just by stepping this way. I think it's a little bit easier for you to see what's happening here. So mountain pose. We're going to do the same thing with our warrior one, but just add a little flow to it. So left foot's going to stay grounded, right foot's going to step back. We're coming right into the pose. So from here, inhale. As you exhale, goalpost arms or cactus arms. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhale, reaching, lengthening. Exhale, bending. Just the elbows. Open the heart. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reaching. And as you exhale, reach forward. You're going to frame that front foot. Step it back into plank, your choice to vinyasa, or just a down dog. So inhale, preparing. Maybe knees to the earth as you exhale, lowering down. Inhale that cobra because we want to strengthen the back body. And then exhale, we'll all meet together in our down dog. Inner big toes touch. Press the mat away. Breathe. Then we're lifting the left leg, leading with the left heel. Inhale. Exhale to bend the knee, hollow out the belly, step the foot forward, ground the back heel. Prepare for warrior one. Inhale to rise into the warrior one. Hands to the hips, and then stepping forward as you are ready. And just between the sides, relax the body, relax the breath, checking in, noticing. If there's any tension in the neck or the shoulders, maybe a little sway of the head, gently, slowly, from side to side. Then hands to the hips. Right foot's going to stay, the left foot's going to step back into warrior one. So coming right into it, getting the arms involved, connecting to the breath, inhale. And then exhale, open the heart, squeeze the shoulder blades, goalpost arms, cactus arms. Inhale, reaching long. Exhale, open the heart, still toning through the glutes, through the legs. Breathing evenly, breathing deeply. One more time. So feel that tone in the shoulders. Getting stronger as you inhale, reach long. Exhale, reach forward. Start to frame the front foot. You can step it back into plank, your choice to vinyasa. So inhale, preparing. Exhale, lowering. Maybe you hover in your chaturanga. If you do, you can inhale into your up dog. Exhale, back to down dog. And pause, breathe, inner big toes touch. Prepare to lift the right leg, inhale. Exhale, step it through. Ground the back heel. Warrior one to rise. Hands to the hips. Stepping forward as you're ready. Relax the arms alongside the body. Again, your choice here. You can sway the head from side to side, releasing any tension. Checking in. And then if you're not there already, just stepping to the top of the mat, finding your mountain pose there. Inhale to open the arms, lift them skyward. Exhale, folding forward, keeping length in the spine. You can soften through knees. A deep inhalation, lifting halfway, strong core. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, step back into plank. Pausing here, breathing, maybe knees to the earth, inhaling. As you exhale, you're lowering down to the belly. Preparing for
your cobras. So inhale, lift the head, or lift the heart, the head follows. Exhale, soften back down. We're strengthening back body core with every lift. Toning the glutes. The muscles that support the spine. One more time, inhale, press the mat away, maybe through the knees. You can flow back to your down dog, or maybe you need child's pose. So just a few breaths exploring. Then we'll meet together, seated on shins. Hips to one side, sweep the legs out. Making sure there's plenty of room back behind you. You can use a little core strength, making your way onto your back. Arriving, just drawing the knees into the chest. You can rock here a little from side to side. Ultimately, rocking the legs over to the right, gazing over the left as you expand the arms out to a T alongside the body. Settling into just a reclining twist. And soften around the face, the eyes. Slowing down the heartbeat and the breath. One more breath. Bring this gaze skyward, the neck neutral, floating one knee followed by the other. Hug the knees in, a little rocking from side to side. And then knees to the left, gaze to the right, expand the arms, open the heart. Just a few breaths here. See how much you can just let go. Not just physically. Let's see what you might still be holding on to emotionally, mentally. One more breath. Neck is neutral, draw the knees in, hug them in. Again, maybe a little rocking of the knees, or a happy baby as you reach for pinky toe edges of feet. Feet are skyward. Shoulders relaxed, head is heavy. One more breath. You can release the feet. Let the legs go long, feet wide, arms alongside the body. You can tuck the shoulders under. Feel expansive here, feel supported. Use any props that you need to feel that support and warmth as you close your eyes and simply rest.
Begin to deepen your breath. Reawakening your body with movements and fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Opening and closing the mouth into a yawn as you take a full body stretch. Arms up overhead, spread fingers and toes. Just breathe. Bending one knee, bend the other. Staying mindful in your movements, starting to roll to either side, curling into a fetal position with the head supported by the arm like a pillow. Recalling your intention here. You can take that with you into your day or something new. Taking this practice with you. Feeling transformed, re-energized. With closed eyes or a soft gaze, you can use your arm strength, taking your time, pressing back up to seated. Finding a taller spine, an open heart. You can bring your hands to your heart. Just acknowledging this practice and yourself with a grateful heart. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.